Hello, and welcome to the training module on accessing the Membership and Operations Guide as published in NING, the internal PRP website. In this module, you will get an overview of the Standards and Guidelines section of the NING website. You will learn how to access the three different formats of the guide depending on what method you want to use to search it. We will briefly review the training available on the NING website relating to the guide. The purpose for the interim guidelines page. You will get a tour of the supporting documents that are published in the NING site relating to the Membership and Operations Guide, and you will also learn how to submit change requests for areas that you feel need to be revised in the Membership and Operations Guide. To access the Standard and Guidelines section of NING, obviously you need to have access to the NING website. Since you're watching this video, it is assumed that you already have a login, but if for any reason you don't, you can request a login either from your manager or from the Team PRP regional manager who will send you an email, and by replying to the email, you create a login and then you gain access. To access the Standard and Guidelines section pages, there's two ways you can do it. You can glide your mouse over the Standards and Guidelines and then click on any one of the pages that are listed there. It includes Memberships and Operations Guide, Training, Interim Guidelines, Supporting Documents, and Suggest Changes. Or you can click on the title itself, which will then display links to the individual sections. So let's begin by looking at the Team PRP Membership and Operations Guide page. By clicking on it, you open the link, which gives you a brief description of the Membership and Operations Guide and its purpose, and then you have three separate links that will allow you to access three different formats of the guide. The first is the typical PDF, which allows you to download a printable version of the guide. Once it appears on the screen, you can then download it onto your computer and save it, or you can read it directly from the PRP NING website simply by scrolling down. You have an index showing you all of the different sections of the guide, which we'll review in a minute, and then you have access to the guide itself. The Membership and Operations Guide is divided into four distinct sections, each of which is intended for a slightly different purpose. So let's scroll down. The first section is Who is Team PRP? And it's primarily intended as a resource for potential new members to learn about who PRP is, how PRP operates, and so on. That covers section 1 of the guide. Section 2 is what is it like and what are the benefits available to potential members who decide that they want to join Team PRP. We cover those in relative good detail to give a compelling argument to potential new members about what it's like and what benefits they can derive. The third section deals with the process of joining Team PRP, the application process, the review, and so on, and what some of the requirements for membership are. And then the fourth section, and the one that you as a already member of Team PRP will most likely be accessing most of the time, is the Standards and Operations Guidelines for being a member and remaining a member of Team PRP. Details on this section are included in a separate module when we discuss the searchable format, which is more than likely the format that you will be using. When you access the guide itself, you will notice sections where there is a blue highlighted area. And these are hyperlinks, and they are an easy way for you to move directly from the membership guide itself onto other resources that are referenced by Team PRP. In this case, for example, you have URG, and by clicking on the URG link, you access the URG website, and in areas where we access a particular portion of a website or a resource within a website, then we direct you with the hyperlink directly into that section. In addition to that, there are specific links that direct you into a separate section or a separate portion of the membership guide. And those are introduced also as a means for you to be able to go directly from whatever you're reading onto some reference section or reference area. Or also it will direct you into one of the supporting documents. For example, right here there's a link to the URG Code of Ethics, which has been posted in the supporting documents area that we'll be discussing shortly. By clicking on that, it automatically directs you to the URG Code of Ethics as posted in the NING website. Another example of a hyperlink is right here in the section, in the very first section when we deal about marketing and promoting the Team PRP brand. Notice that there is a link in here, and when you click on that link, it will automatically take you into the marketing and advertising section of the membership and operations guide. Some of the important features inherent in using a PDF document are the features available directly from Adobe for their Acrobat application. And one of those is when you right-click on the document itself and you go down to Show Navigation Buttons, a pane shows up on the left-hand side of the page. And available to you are several different things, one of which right here is the ability to search for specific items within the document. But one that I want to call to your attention is this one right here, which when you click on it shows you thumbnails of the various pages, and you can scroll and go to a particular page simply by clicking on it. Other typical features include some of the usual Windows functions, like for example you can click on File and you can print the entire document, or you can select to save it as and then save it to your hard drive for access in the future. As I mentioned before, there are two other formats that you can access. One is the searchable document that you can save onto your hard drive for searching in the future in the HTML help. And the other one is to be able to search the resource in a web-based format directly from here. These are covered in a separate module. So with that in mind, let's go back and take a look at some of the other pages available from the Standard and Guidelines section. Because of the fact that you're accessing this module, we can assume that you have also already discovered the training section or the training page. There are two modules available in there. One is the membership guide in NING training module you're looking at now, and the second one is how to use the HTML help to search the membership guide, which is in a separate module. There are a couple of other important sections in here. One of them is interim guidelines. While Team PRP believes and is committed to maintaining the membership guide and issuing new versions of the guide on a routine basis, there inevitably will be instances where guidelines are issued in between the publishing of different versions of the guide. Those interim guidelines will be published in this page called the Interim Guidelines page. There's none in there now because we just published it. But you will find other documents on new guidelines or new standards or revisions that are approved by the PRP Board of Directors but not yet published in the guide. As these are published, then they would be removed from the interim guidelines in the future. The next section is the supporting document. And there are several different important documents posted in this section that are critical to you. One is the application form. Obviously, since you are already a member of Team PRP, this is not as important. But it would be important for anyone who is trying to get another recycler to join Team PRP, where the application form for joining Team PRP is available from here. They can send it to the individual, they can fill it out and submit it. You will also find copies of the Team PRP antitrust guidelines. These are antitrust statements that are read at every single Team PRP event. There is the non-disclosure agreement, which all Team PRP members must sign in order to remain members. There are the bylaws that were approved in 2014, and the shareholder rules and operation policy also approved in 2014, and the shareholder rules and operation policies also is included as an inherent part of the guide in Appendix A. And the last page that I want to go over is the suggested changes. We intend for members of Team PRP to be able to submit changes that they recommend to the guidelines. These are either additions or areas where you've reviewed the guidelines and you feel that the guidelines ought to be modified based on whatever your criteria might be. The best way to submit those is to go into the Standards and Guidelines page and select Suggest Changes, which would put you in this page. And all you have to do is simply copy this section right here, right-click, copy it, and then you go to the comment section and you paste it, and you complete that section by entering the topic that you feel should be changed, the change that you would like to suggest, and then the name of the business where you are at, and your name and phone number and your email address, so that if there's any question about your submission, we can then go back and call you and find out exactly what is it that you would like done, or if we have alternatives to what you're suggesting, we would discuss those with you to make sure you're okay with the changes as we would submit them. So to summarize, in this module you received an overview of the Standards and Guidelines section of the Team PRP NING website. We went over how to access the 3 formats of the guide available on the website and the training that is available relating to the guide. We went over the interim guidelines that may be posted from time to time in between publishing of the guide, the supporting documents, and also how to submit change requests when you believe that there's a section of the guide that could be improved, and how to submit those requests. I want to thank you for participating in this program, and if you have not already viewed the module relating to how to use the HTML and the web help, please do so at this time. Thank you very much.